Hi everybody, my name's Jason Hulott from Canterbury Medieval Combat. It's just a short video. It's kind of an introduction really into how we do things. So we teach German medieval mixed martial arts in effect. So we teach a number of both armed and unarmed techniques from the 14th and 15th century. Most people would know this as HEMA. We kind of try to differentiate ourselves slightly away from HEMA because HEMA is a very, very broad church. So we kind of focus on the self-defense aspect in terms of not necessarily just how it works today, but also how it would have worked in the period. And one of the things that I like to get across is that we have to put these things in context of where we are. So if we were in a town in medieval Germany in the 14th, 15th century, we're wearing turn shoes, we could be wearing pattens, these big clogs that you lift yourself off the ground on because you're walking through an inch or 2 inches of detritus, which is a very big word for poo, which could be animal, vegetable, mineral, could be anything. There's no real irrigation apart from the fact that the streets may bend into basically a small trough that washes stuff away when it rains, but it kind of doesn't really work. So we're very much positioning ourselves as making sure that we are stable. We don't take massive lunges, we don't leap too much, because the problem that we have is if we are attacked and we have our patterns on, for example, and we jump and we slip, chances are we're going to hurt ourselves when we land, and two, we're going to be dead, or we're going to have been robbed even if we aren't dead. That's kind of our sort of core message for people, is that we have to transport ourselves back to where we are in that period. The second thing that we like to, or I like to get across, is that when you look at the unarmed sections of most German manuscripts, there are more non-lethal techniques, because I'm afraid to burst everybody's bubble, murder is still murder. And in fact, murder in the 14th, 15th century Germany is probably more complicated than it is today, because not only do you have the law, but you also have a massive onus on religion. So there's lots of things going on. So you can't just go around stabbing people as much as we want to, or as much as we think that they didn't. So we kind of need to make sure that we are couching everything we do with the thought that this is a self-defense. We are not going around drawing our swords and chopping heads off people. We're not overkilling somebody. We are doing enough to firstly disarm them, and secondly to control them, and only at that point, after that, if that fails, then we might have to resort to something a little bit more permanent. So again, we're kind of trying to get these things across to people, that you can't just take the TV and say, oh well, they go around killing everybody, so that's what we're going to do. We can't do that. So unfortunately for people that want to come here and that's what you think is going to happen, it's not. We're going to be very, very specific about the techniques that we train, and we're also going to be very, very specific about how you learn them and in the right context. So hopefully that's given you some ideas. That's going to save me spouting this every time we get a beginner, because I say this quite a lot to people, and I think most of my students are now getting a little bit fed up with it, because I keep saying this week after week after week. So hope this helps. Any questions, or you want to chat about anything, then just get in touch with the page, drop a comment. If you don't agree with this, fine, I have got no problem with that, I'm a big boy, but that's kind of how we do things here. So I hope you enjoy your practice, however you do that, and we will be back with more information soon.